You found it. Your home for the best content on your favorite team, the Fighting Tigers of LSU. Do us a favor. Subscribe to the channel. Leave your comments below. And be sure to smash that like button. So we spent a lot of Monday taking the victory lap with Jayden Daniels after an incredible season, punctuated with the Heisman Trophy on Saturday in New York City. And we started to look ahead, both immediate short-term and long-term. And the immediate short-term is that on Monday, LSU hit the practice field to begin their preparations for the ReliaQuest Bowl against Wisconsin on New Year's Day. And Jayden Daniels was on a plane home from New York on Monday. So LSU began preparations for the bowl game without their quarterback. Jayden Daniels has still yet to announce if he plans on playing in the ReliaQuest Bowl. You know, my opinion on the matter is that he likely won't and probably shouldn't practice or play in the ReliaQuest Bowl. There's nothing else for Jayden Daniels to prove, and only risk if he was to go out there and play in the bowl game. But so much of that conversation has spawned a different conversation, which is about the future of the quarterback position at LSU. Now, this isn't a new topic. I've told you how I feel. LSU went in home last week with MJ Morris, the transfer quarterback from NC State. I've said it openly. LSU would be negligent not to add a quarterback because, as I've said, your returned ankle, a sick day for Garrett Nussmeier, a cheap shot from Dallas Turner away, or Nuss just doesn't develop the way we all think and hope he might, from having Rickie Collins as your only option as a redshirt freshman, and all we've seen him do is hand off the football against Grambling. And so I mentioned that on the show on Monday, and someone sent me a note and said, well, Matt, then what is the point of signing Rickie Collins? And that's a great question. And the answer is, there may not be a good answer. Now, that's counterintuitive, I know, because we have all watched and loved college football our whole lives, and you should sign a quarterback in every single signing class. You need depth at that position. You can't allow yourself to be in a position where you don't have depth. Except we're living in an era of college football right now that is counterintuitive, that is flipped on its head what we have all come to know throughout our entire lives of watching college football. You want a quarterback? Go get one. Just go into the transfer portal and nab you a quarterback. When I look at LSU's greatest success at quarterback over the last decade, you know this, it's all been transfers. Zach Mettenberger, Danny Etling, Joe Burrow, Jayden Daniels. You all understand what I understand. LSU hasn't had a quarterback it recruited out of high school finish their career at LSU since Jordan Jefferson and Jarrett Lee. I guess you could throw an asterisk with Miles Brennan, but he retired from football. Bottom line is, the way that we are all looking at the quarterback position in 2023, 4 and beyond is just dramatically different. You don't have to sign a high school quarterback. Now, it's wise to do so. And specifically to the question about Rickie Collins, and it's just Rickie Collins because of the way I phrased it. You're a turned ankle away from having Rickie Collins be the guy next year as a redshirt freshman. And this year in his true freshman season, all we saw Rickie Collins do was hand off the ball against Grambling. I want to be very clear. This isn't a commentary on Rickie Collins. I liked Rickie Collins at Woodlawn. I was very excited when LSU signed him, and I'm very optimistic about his future in Baton Rouge. And you hope that all the time spent invested in recruiting Rickie Collins and developing him pays dividends, and he becomes a great college quarterback. I would love to see that. We also haven't seen that from a guy that LSU has recruited out of high school in more than a decade. So the odds are it's not going to work out for Rickie Collins. Again, the odds, that's not to say definitively it won't. It's just that the odds are it won't. Same with Colin Hurley behind him and what we all hope is Bryce Underwood behind him in 2025. Could it? Absolutely it could. Jalen Milroe got Alabama in the college football playoff. He was recruited out of high school. Carson Beck played in the SEC championship game against Alabama. He signed with Georgia out of high school. Are there exceptions? Absolutely. There are exceptions. But the rule is transfers rule the day. And why wouldn't you have an experienced veteran player at the most important position in team sports if you can? So the reason that you recruit Rickie Collins or any high school player in this era is because you hope they stay and develop. But in the likelihood that they don't, you have the transfer portal as a tool at your disposal. So I phrase it to you this way. If just completely in a vacuum, if LSU could go into next season with Garrett Nussmeier, a third-year collegiate, either a redshirt sophomore or a true junior, who's attempted 1,000 career passes, Rickie Collins is a redshirt freshman and Colin Hurley as a true freshman, or only Nussmeier, Collins, Hurley, which would you choose? The answer is really clear and obvious. You're going for the deeper, more experienced, more talented quarterback room. So you recruit the kid out of high school. Of course you do. Because maybe he stays and maybe he develops and maybe he becomes a really good player. And that's great. Ideally, that's the case. But history has shown us, certainly over the last decade, that those guys don't stay. And they don't stay and become more productive. They leave and seek a better opportunity to play somewhere else. And sometimes it's multiple opportunities. Look at TJ Finley. He left LSU and went to Auburn, left Auburn, went to Texas State, and this year got Texas State into a bowl game. Had a great season. Good for him. Look at Max Johnson. Started at LSU, left, went to Texas A&M, played, got hurt, up, down. Now he's at North Carolina, his third stop. It's the nature of the game. It's just different now. And yes, you recruit guys out of high school, especially elite guys if you can get them. But that doesn't mean you ignore the opportunity that this system provides you, which is to go add depth. So to the question, why even recruit Rickie Collins or any high school quarterback, you could go the route of not doing it. Look at what Deion did in Colorado. His offensive line was atrocious this year. What did he do? He went and attacked the portal, got a whole new offensive line out of the portal in like a week. You can do it that way. But you don't want to have to rely on that every single year. So just like at receiver, you build out of the high school ranks, you supplement out of the portal. Cornerback, you build out of the high school ranks, you supplement out of the portal. You can add a really good player at that position, you do. Quarterback is no different. You sign a quarterback in every class, but when you have the opportunity to add a veteran player at the most important position in team sports, you absolutely do it. Brian Kelly said it last week when he met with reporters. Said every decision they will make with complete transparency, and they'll make it in the best interest of LSU, not in the best interest of one player. If you think by adding a player like MJ Morris means Rickie Collins transfers, okay. In 2024, would I rather third-year MJ Morris or redshirt freshman Rickie Collins? The answer is MJ Morris. And I'm just using MJ Morris because I know LSU went in home with him and they're recruiting him. But my point is a guy who has been on the field, who has played major college football, who's 21 years old, who's been in a college system for 3 years, or a redshirt freshman, give me the experienced guy 100 times out of 100. So this is a conversation that's going to continue to be had. We're going to continue to talk about this, and LSU's going to continue to pursue quarterbacks out of the portal, and they should. And they should do it regardless of the effect it would have on the guys currently on your roster. Because if a guy currently on your roster gets upset that you're pursuing depth or a transfer at that position, then that's evidence of a guy that you probably don't want to hand a job to anyway. So bring him in and compete. Give me experience and depth always at the most important position in team sports. So why do you recruit Rickie Collins? Why do you recruit high school players? Because you hope they stay and develop and become really good players. The reason you recruit transfers is because of the probability that they don't. Hey, thanks so much for watching. Please leave your comments. I love to interact, and be sure to hit the red subscribe button below.